The Galactic Council had made their decision with unanimous certainty. Earth would be quarantined. The humans are too unpredictable, declared High Counselor Zethran, his crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into prismatic fragments. Their capacity for violence knows no bounds, yet they simultaneously demonstrate incomprehensible acts of mercy. They are a paradox that threatens the stability of our union. The assembled representatives from 47 star systems nodded in agreement. The Viridians, with their millennium-long lifespans, found human impulsiveness terrifying. The logic-driven Kethmori couldn't comprehend how humans made decisions based on something as nebulous as gut feeling. Even the warlike Grenth had deemed humans too chaotic for proper alliance. "The barrier will be impenetrable," announced Chief Engineer Molteth, a six-armed hexapod whose species had perfected defensive technologies over eons. "We will construct a gravitational wall around their solar system using dark matter manipulation. Nothing larger than a photon will pass through." The construction took 3 standard years. Massive gravitational generators were positioned at precise coordinates, creating an invisible sphere around the Sol system that bent space-time itself. The barrier was tested with everything from antimatter weapons to dimensional phase drives. Nothing penetrated it. The Council breathed collectively easier. Humanity was contained. For 50 years, the galaxy prospered. Trade routes flourished without the threat of human interference. Diplomatic relations stabilized without their emotional outbursts disrupting negotiations. The Council congratulated themselves on their wisdom. Then the report started trickling in. Captain Veltar was the first to file the impossible incident. While patrolling the outer rim, his ship detected an unregistered vessel, clearly of human design but somehow operating 300 light-years from Earth. "Impossible," Molteth declared when the report reached him. "Our barrier is perfect. Perhaps it's an old human ship that was outside the system when we erected the wall. But the ship's quantum signature indicated recent construction. Worse, it was using technologies the Council didn't recognize." More sightings followed. Human traders appearing in markets they couldn't possibly reach. Human exploration vessels charting systems in the galactic core. Human diplomatic envoys arriving at worlds that had never seen their species before. The Council convened an emergency session. "How are they doing this?" demanded Zethran, his usual composure cracking like stressed crystal. Molteth's arms writhed in confusion. "Our sensors show the barrier intact. Nothing has passed through it." "Nothing can pass through it." "Then explain the human colony we discovered in the Andromeda system last week," snarled General Krextoth of the Grenth. "They've been there for 20 years, according to their records." The answer came from an unexpected source, Dr. Elena Vasquez, speaking through a quantum communicator that materialized in the Council chamber without triggering any security protocols. "Honorable Council," her voice echoed with an almost amused tone, "we want to thank you for the engineering challenge." "This is impossible," Molteth screeched. "How are you communicating? How did your people escape?" Elena's laughter was warm, decidedly human. "Escape? We never tried to escape. Why would we want to break something so beautiful?" "Beautiful?" Zethran's form flickered with confusion. "You built us the perfect puzzle," Elena explained. "A barrier we couldn't break, couldn't go around, couldn't go over or under. So we did what humans do best, we got creative." The holographic display activated, showing technical schematics that made even Molteth's advanced mind real. "You see, your barrier stops matter and energy from passing through. But it doesn't stop information. And if you understand quantum mechanics deeply enough, the line between information and reality becomes flexible." "Quantum teleportation," breathed the Kethmori representative. "But not for particles, for entire beings." "More than that," Elena smiled. "We learned to encode human consciousness as pure information, transmit it through quantum entanglement outside your barrier, then reconstruct it with matter we found on the other side. We've been doing it for 40 years. The chamber fell silent except for the hum of life support systems. "But that's not the best part," Elena continued. "Your barrier forced us to completely reimagine space travel. We've developed technologies that make your fastest ships look like rowboats. We've established colonies in 16 different galaxies. We've made contact with civilizations you didn't even know existed." Zethran found his voice. "You could have simply asked us to remove the barrier. Where's the fun in that?" Elena's grin was audible. Besides, you wanted to keep us contained because you thought we were dangerous. Well, you were right, but not in the way you imagined. The display showed images of human settlements scattered across the universe, human doctors treating alien plagues, human engineers solving thousand-year-old infrastructure problems, human artists creating beauty that transcended species barriers. You tried to cage a species that once built cities in deserts and learned to fly by watching birds, Elena said. Did you really think a wall would stop us? What do you want? Zethron asked, his crystalline form dimming with resignation. Nothing you aren't already giving us, Elena replied. You've given us the greatest gift imaginable, the motivation to become something more than we ever dreamed possible. Your barrier didn't contain us. It freed us. The communication ended, leaving the council in stunned silence. Moloteth was the first to speak, his voice small and defeated. The barrier still holds. They haven't broken it. No, agreed Zethron, staring at the empty space where Elena's image had been. They've done something far worse. They've made it irrelevant. Outside the council chambers, reports continued to pour in, humans everywhere, helping, exploring, creating, being unmistakably and irreversibly human across a universe that had tried to lock them away. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. You cannot contain a species whose greatest strength is finding ways around the impossible. You can only ensure that when they overcome your barriers, they remember exactly who tried to build them. And humans, as the council was beginning to understand, had very long memories indeed.